Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, Friday, November 10th, 2023. This is my pre-market report. People, we need to talk about what's being set up right now and what most likely is going to happen. And I would say with a high degree of certainty, this is exactly what is going to take place. This whole resolution against Iran by the United States is a profound thing. Again, that the U.S. will use all means necessary to prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon. Do you see the setup here? If you recall, during the whole U.S. war on Iraq, weapons of mass destruction, we were sold a lie. We know where the weapons are. We're going after. They never found these weapons. They broadcast nuclear explosions across every single mainstream media outlet. Fear. They were showing the yellow cake. I mean, you could go on and on to justify what happened then. And of course, no one was held to account. There were no weapons of mass destruction. The same setup is happening now with Iran. The United States economy is dependent on war. Especially it's always been, but right now more so than ever. And they're already setting up how they're going to sell this to the people. Again, the resolution here against Iran, the propagation of a war. I'm telling you, we're going to get some kind of an event, a false flag, of course. They're going to blame this on Iran, and they're going to get the American people to back it, and they're going to sell it to them the same way. The nuclear explosions, the yellow cake, all the same. They already have the playbook. They have their playbook. It worked last time. It will work again on the weak-minded. You understand? Any reason that they can dream about or think about or cause you to have nightmares about is going to be utilized to expand war. And I sincerely believe in my heart of hearts, and I want you to reach down deep inside yourself. Do you see what I see here? The setup, where this is going here, and why they need to propagate this war. Again, it's about GDP. We know what's going to happen here. U.S. GDP is going to skyrocket, and they're going to say the economy is strong. The economy is strong. No, it's about funding the war in Ukraine, the war with Israel, the upcoming war with Iran. It's going to happen. It's a matter of what they're going to do to sell this to the American people and the people of the world. And that means a lot of people are going to die. Okay, prior to the war. They got to sell it to you via a false flag, via some event that they can point to. And then they're going to show you again the nuclear explosions, the yellow cake. They know where the weapons are. They have weapons of mass destruction. It's all set up. This resolution, as I covered recently, it's a declaration of war. Look into this yourself. It's not easy. It's very simple to find. Anyway, with that here, so let's put a couple of more perspectives on this. An expanding war, especially here with Iran, with their relationship to China and Russia here. This would obviously be a very large boost to U.S. GDP, the military-industrial complex, the war machine, the defense contractors, and crude oil. Crude oil remains the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex. We've seen crude oil get walloped as of late, along with commodities as a whole. But you knew this was going to happen before it did. Just Sunday, this last Sunday, I explained to you the situation. Risk on. The Federal Reserve here, keeping rates suppressed, selling dollars, buying foreign currency. We just came off of the best week and a half for the S&P 500 this entire year. You think that was just by accident? Excuse me. Anyway, so the setup here is very, very simple. If they involve Iran, and I think they will, okay, crude oil, the lifeblood of the military-industrial complex, will get propped up. That will put a big boost underneath the banks, who are the investment banks, who are loaded up beyond their eyeballs in crude oil. So again, not only are the commercial banks' balance sheets getting wiped out because of this rising rate environment, the Fed needs to find a way to suppress rates even further. So an expanding war involving Iran would push cash right into the debt market, and that's what the Fed is looking to do. We covered this also before it happened, before the whole Israel war started. We said this, would play out like this, and it has played out exactly that way. The expansion of war, the propagation of war pushes cash into the perceived safety of debt. Yields come down. This is what the Fed is trying to achieve. You have to understand, the Federal Reserve controls the U.S. military. You do understand that, right? I hope you do. The petrodollar exists only because of the fact that oil, well, it's moving away from this, is priced in dollars, henceforth the petrodollar. The Federal Reserve has the U.S. military at their disposal. They will point that weapon in its entirety, including its nuclear arsenal, at anyone they want to, outward or inward. You understand? They're the real government. Everything else is just a smokescreen. I think you're all well aware of that. So understanding these concepts and understanding who's in control, what they're trying to achieve, lets you and I have a very clear understanding of where things most likely are going to go. And also, again, it allows us to come up with solutions to the problem here. First of all, forget about getting rid of the Fed. Ain't never happening, okay? They are the most powerful organization on the planet thanks to the last several presidents. The current president, President Trump, and Obama have empowered the Federal Reserve more so than every single other president combined before them, calling on lower rates, a weaker dollar. These are massively positive things for any central bank whose goal is to issue more debt. You understand? I know there's a lot of people still stuck in the delusion that the Fed's going away. Ain't going away. All right. They have solidified their spot here. They've had a century, over a century, to plan this out, and we're living in what they have created for all of us. Central banks collectively are seeking to control the world. Once they controlled the monetary system, the financial markets, everything else was simple to do. And that's what they do now. They control the economy, the financial system, the financial markets. That means they control everything else. All this other stuff here is just, it's a sideshow. It's the same as a sitcom. Entertainment for the people here. Maybe instilling them with some kind of hope that maybe they have a voice, which they do not anymore. And this, again, was also part of the plan of central banks since the get-go. This neo-feudal system, all of it, all this stuff you and I have spoken about since forever is happening. It's taking place, and it's becoming more real every day, with people becoming more dependent on the current system. All this stuff, again, we've spoken about. But that does not mean that we can't at least get ourselves in the right spots here from a financial standpoint, betting against the debt, becoming your own central bank, understanding where the market's going to go, commodities here, realizing that we are not each other's enemies, although they want us to think we are. If you notice, the one thing, and I've told you this a million times, that those that seek control want to keep us separated by any mechanism possible. They do not want groups of people congregating together that maybe have a common goal or a common theme. This is a threat to freedom. It's a threat to free thought, free action, and free movement. All right? They don't want this. This makes you public enemy number one if you happen to gather with people who maybe are looking for an alternative to the current situation. They become a threat. They'll call you a terrorist, is the truth. Anyway, even if you have nothing to do with it, it's just obviously the mechanism here of control. Control is what their goal is. And how they can solidify that control right now more so and force the people, all of us, into backing another major event is via some kind of false flag pointing fingers at Iran. This, again, would have such a profound effect on the market. It would boost crude oil, boost energy stocks, boost the financial sector. It would help save the banks whose balance sheets are evaporating in this environment here of raising rates. You know that. We've covered this a million times. Sure, the 1% and 2% is going to do great. The stock market would rise on the back of all this, unless, of course, it goes nuclear. Then we'll see where this all goes. But I don't foresee that happening. I don't believe. Look, I don't see a reason why I think Iran wants to stay out of this for the most part. There's a lot of rhetoric and saber rattling, but the U.S. is going to find a way to involve them. This would fix a lot of problems. Again, the U.S. economy is war dependent right now. U.S. GDP depends on war at this point, as the economy is in free fall, as the people are suffering, people can't make ends meet, burying themselves in every kind of debt, household debt, personal debt, consumer debt, like we've never seen before. Again, the creation of this neo-feudal system, all the things we've been speaking about, it's all happening. With regard to the market, nothing really going on here this morning. Stock futures relatively flat, crude oil catching a bid, Bitcoin almost 37,000, going much higher eventually, of course, in my perspective, along with other cryptocurrencies. Gold and silver under some pressure right now. The MMRI, Mannarino Market Risk Indicator, after yesterday's sell-off in the debt market, remains above 300. Keep your eyes on that. Again, free to everybody. Link in the description of this video. All right, people, that's pretty much where we stand today, and I want to hear from you. Does this make sense to you, what I'm saying? Look, they think we're all stupid. We're not stupid. We know what they're trying to do. You think they passed this resolution just because they thought it was fun? No, it's a setup. It's a setup. And you're caught right in the middle of it. But they think it's going to go in one ear and out the other. No, we're listening. We're paying attention. We're raising our awareness, as I've been telling you, part of the solutions here. We have to stay ahead of the curve. We have to stay ahead of those who are seeking to destroy us all, because that's exactly what they're doing. It's a terrible thing to see. And people are willingly marching themselves to the slaughter, as they always do. It's a crazy situation, all right? This guy here loves you a lot. Please comment. Please share the video. Get it out there. I will see all of you for the live stream, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And I have some questions ready for me, all right? See you then.